stop timer here. Okay. Great to be with you guys. I have a split personality. I've been a professor and involved with education since 1980, higher education. And about 15 years ago, I started doing consulting. I have about 30 businesses, and mostly Orange County, that I'm involved with the CEOs. So I'm kind of their trusted advisor. They're a person who they confide in me. They say they tell things to me that they don't tell their counselors or their pastors. And I try to help them think through strategically. Management is planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. My role is to help them think through how to be efficient, effective at all those things as best they can. So I'm really nothing more than a professional question asker. And they know their business a billion times better than I do. But sometimes they're so close to it that they don't ask the right questions. So I just get a chance to talk to them, ask them questions, dig, push a little bit. I like to encourage, challenge, and support. So that's what I do. Both undergraduate, MBA students. I've exposed probably 400 or 500 students to Paul's book. They have to read the book, watch the videos, and then Paul's been kind enough to Skype in and actually did take your own plane one day, flew down to be with us and share the good news of lean. Now, I personally don't like the word lean. Sorry, Paul. Because lean all of a sudden becomes a concrete thing. And what is it? And if it's something I don't know and understand, I become a little resistant. You talked about change last night, and any obstacles, I like to overcome those. So all I ask is questions. What would it be like if every employee came to work thinking, acting, and behaving like an owner? What would the difference be? And I let them tell me. And I say, what would it take to help them get there? What do we need to do? And my statement is, how do we help people become a bit better? And it's piggybacking off the 2 seconds. I'm not in the manufacturing world, so I'm not trying to quantify that, although I do have some manufacturers. I'm just trying to help people stop and ask the question, how do I become a bit better? And think about it. What would happen if your employees left work happy, content, satisfied? Who do they go home to? Their spouses, their loved ones, their family. I think it's kind of our moral obligation to do what we can to help the employees really enjoy what they're doing. Use their giftedness. Feel good about their work. There's a term, in the Hispanic term, nosotros. Us, we. It's about team. Now, I happen to grow up having been an athlete and so forth, and I know the value of team. Some of you do as well, I'm sure. But how do we help each other decide to work together? Because and that's what I was mentioning earlier, Paul, this group of people are smarter than Paul by a bit. When we work together, when we strategize together, we do some things. And I'm going to show, Andrew, if you'd be so kind to hand these things out, I want to give you a couple tools that I help people with. Now, there may be better tools, and I just know 1/10 of 1/10 of 1/10 of 1%. So I'm just sharing what I do. I like to help people. I'll show you a couple examples. But this is a daily focus card. And I try to get as many of my clients and certainly my students exposed to, thank you, sir, to this. And this is a very simple thing. And I know Paul's got this PD, what do you call it? The Lean PD. Lean PD. That's great on a personal level and maybe organizationally, and maybe that trumps this by 5 units. But this is what I give a lot of my clients. And what they do is every day they put their name and the dates on there. And then what are the 3 most important things they must do for the day? Now, actually, let's say, well, today is Friday. Before 4 o'clock, now, my son's organization, I'll use an example, they work till 4 o'clock. And 4 o'clock, before they leave, they have Mondays filled out, okay? Now, Thursday, before they left, they filled out Friday. Okay, we'll get to that in a second. So I don't want them thinking about work over the weekend. I want them thinking about fun, family, doing great things, enriching things, not thinking, what should I do? Waking up in the middle of the night, go, oh, darn, got to do that. No, write down the most important things you have to do before you leave so you don't think about it. Again, the separation. Now, let's go back to Thursday night, 4 o'clock. They filled this out for today. So today, about 4 o'clock, they're going to put a number in that little box. Those little square boxes, they're going to put a 5 if they got it completed. 4, almost completed. 3, en route. 2, just barely begun. 1, didn't get to it. And at the end of every week, the CEO, I think, should be looking at this for accountability. Because if they got they had 3 things on there, 1 was a 5, 1 was a 3, 1 was a 1, Well, help me understand. Again, my role is, and I think CEO's role is, encourage, challenge, and support. And so if it's a 5, great job. Dave, how do you feel about that? I feel great about it. You know, we all are big kids, and we all need pats in the back. And the worst thing you can do is wait till the end of the year and do a evaluation, and it's July, and they forgot about it, you forgot about it, right? So every day you can get a chance to say, thank you, good job. You're making a little positive investment. You're adding to the bank account. It's not that hard. Now, if you have 200 employees, you're not going to do that for everyone. You're going to have your leaders do it. Okay? You should have 6 or 7 people, perhaps, even reporting to you. So how did they do? Now, guess what? They put it in a box, and we collect it and look at it, and they feel good about themselves. They have that sense of, I did indeed accomplish something. Now, of course, things come in the way. Mitigate it, and out the door it goes because something trumped that. What happened? Well, something else more important came. Great. Then guess what they do? The next day they put it, if it was important, they put it down. So it's an accountability. And then the bottom, look at the thing, it says, the one thing I did today to help make CF, that means clearly filtered, a little bit better. And they have to think through. So what you're doing, Paul, it's the same thing, only we only have 4, my son's company. There's only 4, so they're not having the morning meetings. But what did they do? And then we keep looking at it, and then we're analyzing it. It's remarkable. The level of sophistication in 4 months for this 4-person company has gone up, 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 up. And the things that they're doing is making improvements. And I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to show you if I can here.
Just click around, it'll click back on in just a second.
And there was one other one. Where'd it go? It's behind here, I think. How do I do that? Let's see. This one, right?
Figure it out.
There we go. Whoops. My little... Here we go. Ta-da! And let's make it a little bit bigger. I hope the sound comes on.
California. What you're looking at right now is our shipping station. Talking about some of the changes that we've made over the last 120 days. We've gone from a business that is online, operating basically out of my personal home, my father's home and my brother's home, to operating in a small warehouse location. As you can see, all of our freight, which is palletized and ready to go out. But we've basically gone from an online mom and pop shop to a very respectful medium-sized, although staffing-wise, small business. But looking just again from a lean perspective, talking about the concept of fix what's bugging you. Order-wise, our typical order range before moving into this location, as you can see, was anywhere from 15 packages an hour to maybe 20 on the top end. Now we're pushing about 40 to 45 on a good day with help of just the layout. As you can see, we have a nice shipping station, a computer station, and our products close. So when we are shipping department manager, Mark is shipping orders out. He is close to the shipping station, so cutting down on time walking back and forth, which is cool, and also lean in concept. So we actually have the product racked back where you can see this shelving of boxes before that. But again, applying the lean concept, what Mark and I have done basically is put the boxes that we use most frequently close here to the shipping station, so he doesn't have to go back and forth too many times, cutting down the walking, since we only have one person typically packing and shipping boxes. One other big change that we've made is, I don't know if it's easy to see, and I do apologize, I'm shooting this on my iPhone, is we have these blue lines on the ground. We call them parking spaces. So since we have a very small, 900 square foot warehouse, we have to maximize space. So applying that lean concept of how do we fit the most amount of freight to send out to our customers while not overloading our space, what we've done is come up with a very rudimentary parking system. So each one of these spots that you can see here is actually labeled, and we actually have a program that we run that updates the counts and what's where. So again, not quite a Mass 90 system for those of you who operate a warehouse or something of the equivalent, but still better than what we had originally.
So they went from 10 to 12 orders fulfillment per hour. We're now 45 to 50. And also what they did as a result of that is they had more time to start thinking about, it's again, working on the business as much as you work in the business. They have negotiated with USPS, FedEx, and UPS. And they've saved over $150,000 in shipping costs alone going forward by the proper negotiations, the proper forms, and so they're working on the business. And I want to show you something. Just one of my clients, if I can get this one, I don't know how to do this, folks. Sorry, 1 second. Working with clients on how to make, this is what I want to show you. Because again, management's planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. Think about your resources, your economic resources. I create templates for my clients, and this is one of them, the bottom right. I don't know if you can see it. I'll try to move it up here because time's running out real quick. And somehow it moves up. And so, how about some of you are not gifted in knowing, you may know how to read a P&L and a balance sheet, but do you really understand your numbers? Do you understand your key indicators? Creating a little system like this is just, I've got 5 or 6 as a client, and it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different key indicators. And if you can blow that up a little bit, what you're going to see is now it's color coordinated. Color coordinated means top forest green means you're in the A category, the lighter green is kind of B category, the yellow's in the C, and then the light, or the red's in the F category, if you would. And so you can look, just think that these are the months. You can look and see trends within seconds by using colors to make something easy. So I can train my CEOs in matters of minutes to read their key indicators to know if they're trending in the right or the wrong direction. That's your dashboard. This is just a simple dashboard. It's color coordinated. And if you squint, you can see, what if it's green, green, red, yellow, green, you can get a feel for it. Where do you put your energy? Where the yellows and the reds are. What are the mitigating reasons? What has happened to cause that? So you have a good point of contact. So that's just a lean thing. So anyway, I'm running out of time. Just the last thing I really want to talk about is we are running into the next generation that has very much been affected by technology. And I heartily endorse you to read a book. This gentleman has written all about emotional intelligence, but this is focus. Learning how to help to keep people focused. There's brain functions. Now you can look past all the science stuff, but brain functions, and you're going to learn to have to deal with people who are the millennials coming up, how their brains have been trained very differently than our brains have. And if you aren't prepared for that, you're going to be in for some incredible frustration. And so, but learning how to help people get focused, this card would be one of them. Questions?
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So what percentage of all the students that, I speak to on Skype conference calls, because it seems like I'm always speaking to them, take the lean message and are totally like, okay, I'm doing this. Is it 1%? How are they getting it? Because they seem engaged, so I'm curious.
Well, my job's to influence people and the next generation, and bringing Paul in has been very helpful. They've read your book, watched your videos, we've had discussion, and Paul comes in and puts the deal together with his focus and enthusiasm. They all have to go, because I can't require them in a short period of time to make an improvement that they could measure at the workplace, but they can at home. And so they all have to go to the home and say, what improvement can I make at home? One guy, I mean, we always start with the question, what is it that you hate the most? Well, I hate doing my taxes. How long does it take you to do your taxes? Oh, it takes like 15, 16 hours. Well, what's the solution? And the group finds out, well, there's a thing called Mint. If you use Mint, is a great organizer to get ready. And he used Mint, and it collapsed it down to 2 hours. Another young man actually works for Toyota. And he says, I've learned all the Toyota methods. He's very good. But he says, I never applied them to my home. And he's got triplets, and he says, when they're naughty, I just line them all 3 up and spank them all at once. I think he was kidding, but I'm not sure. But and people, the Kaizen foam, several of them have very messy in their garage, their tools, and they've done that.
What percentage would you say of all the people you've taught lean to are actually just said, okay, I'm doing this. This is my new way of life?
I'm going to say that as a result of going through the exercise I just described, that 100% of them see the value of it. It will be in time that what they will use it or not, I can't say. But I think they're all exposed to something that's healthy, they're excited about, and I give them all sorts of examples so they're going into the work site saying this can be done. So I'm going to say 100%.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Darryl, very much.